Hey, my name's Katie. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you 12 weird things that I do to save money. Some of these things you might want to try yourself to save money, and some of them might be a little bit too weird for you. One thing that I do to save money is I only own one pair of shoes. The average person spends $419 a year on shoes, and this past year I spent $40. So these are the shoes that I wear every day. They are Zero Z-Trail sandals, so they were designed to be like all-terrain sandals, so I can go hiking in them and all of that stuff. I do live in a warmer climate, so I am able to wear sandals all the time, but when I lived in a colder climate, I had two pairs of shoes. I had these and a hiking boot, hiking shoe that is also made by Zero, which is obviously my favorite shoe company. Not sponsored at all, I just really love them. They will last me more than a year. So I spent $40 this year, but they're gonna last me more than 1 year. Another weird thing I do is I do not spend any money on shaving or hair removal products. The average woman spends $16 a month over the course of more than 50 years on getting rid of hair, which comes to over $10,000 during a woman's lifetime. So I decided I wasn't going to spend that money. This not only helps with money, but it also helps the environment because a lot of our plastic razors and stuff are just discarded and thrown away and end up in a landfill. So I have chosen not to partake in that activity. So the next weird thing that I do has to do with my hair. I have allowed my hair to lock up, which means I do not ever have to brush my hair or get my hair cut. I get to wash my hair a whole lot less often than I used to. I'm gonna read some statistics, but the average person spends $80 a month and 11 hours on their hair, which over the course of a year is $960 and 132 hours. Over the course of a lifetime, a woman spends $55,000 on taking care of her hair. So just by having this super low maintenance hair, I save a ton of money and time. This next weird thing, you might judge me, but I only shower about once a week, sometimes twice a week. And I know that that sounds weird to a lot of people, but your body gets used to it. And as long as you're not outdoors sweating a whole lot and getting gross and dirty and stuff, you really don't need to shower as much as society tells you. I promise you, I don't stink and I'm clean. During the summer when it is hotter outside and I'm sweating more, I do go to the beach a lot and I get into the ocean, and the salt in the ocean is really cleansing. And then during the winter, I just don't sweat as much because it's not as hot. When I do shower, I wash with this Dr. Bronner's, and I use this for my hair also. You dilute it a whole lot, and this lasts for at least a year. It is really not good to put a whole lot of harsh soaps on your skin. Your skin is your first line of defense for your immune system. So making sure that your skin is healthy and has good microbes on it is really important for your just overall health. So when you're using harsh soaps or bathing too often, then it really washes off all of those good microbes along with the bad ones. So you want to find a good balance and make sure that you're staying healthy, but you really only need to shower once or twice a week. That's what I found works for me. I do wash my pits and my bits every day, but as far as like hopping in the shower and taking a full shower, I don't do that nearly as often as most people do. Also, because I'm not using a whole lot of harsh chemicals and stuff on my body, I actually need to use a lot less product. So I don't ever use any types of lotion or anything like that on my skin because my skin's healthy and it's not drying out. Another thing that I do to save money is that I try to run my heat and air unit as little as possible. I live in a warmer climate, so the months that I am able to turn it off completely are about from November until April, just depending on how quickly it cools down and how fast it warms up. During the summer, I do run my air conditioning unit most of the time, but during the winter, I try not to turn it on at all. Because it is humid here, I do run a dehumidifier for a few hours a day when the unit's not on, just because I need to get the humidity out of the house. A lot of the times when people use their heat and air unit, it's more of a luxury than a need. I mean, obviously, if it's very cold outside, you need heat, and if it's really hot, air conditioning is pretty important or you're going to be miserable, but it is really more of a luxury than a need. So I only use it when I really have to, and I'm really aware of when I do run my unit and if I actually need it. Another thing that is related to saving electricity is I try to go to bed and wake up when the sun comes out. So I try not to turn on lights if I don't have to. At night when it gets dark, I try to go to bed as it's getting dark so I don't have to use the lights, and then I wake up when the sun comes up. I don't stay up super late in the middle of the night with all the lights on and then sleep late in the morning when the sun's up. I kind of try and make my schedule match the daylight hours, so I'm not using a lot of electricity. Another weird thing that I do is I don't eat meat. The average person would save $23 a week on their grocery bill if they cut meat out of their diet. So we try and eat mostly whole-based plant foods, which those are really some of the cheapest foods available, things like rice and beans. And if you're buying produce that is in season, it can really save a lot of money. And also if you eat more raw foods and you're not cooking your food as much, then you're not using as much electricity, and that will save money also. Another weird thing we do that has to do with eating is the way that we meal prep our food. So what I do every week is I pick one breakfast, one lunch, and one dinner that we're gonna eat for that week. And that way I can buy items in bulk, and I, once a week, will make everything that we need for breakfast, that one meal, everything we need for lunch, and everything we need for dinner. And we will eat the same thing we'll have the same breakfast every day, the same lunch every day, and the same dinner every day. And that saves a whole lot of money and also a whole lot of time. If you haven't noticed a theme throughout the video, I also like to save time. It's not just about money always, but I spend, like 3 or 4 hours once a week cooking because I don't really like to cook that much. Another weird thing that I do is I try to only leave the house once a day if I need to go out and run errands. So by planning my trips and my time out of the house, I save a lot of money on gas instead of like running to the store to get this and then come back home and then running somewhere else to run an errand. Or even if I'm going out to do something fun, like if I'm gonna go to the beach or the kids have an activity that we're gonna go to, I'm gonna plan all of my trips and decide the best route to take so that I am using as little gas as possible, because especially right now, gas is very expensive and it is very easy to spend way more than you want to on gas every month if you're not really conscious about your trips. Another weird thing that I do that maybe isn't so weird now, but it was 7 or so years ago when I started, was I don't use any disposable menstrual products. Instead, I use a menstrual cup. So the average person will spend $20 a month or $18,000 in their lifetime on disposable menstrual products, but I have a Diva cup, and I've had this for 7 years, and it was $32. It might have been more when I bought it several years ago. I think the price on them have come down a lot, but yeah, I save so much money just using a reusable menstrual cup. There's some on Amazon. I did a little search before I filmed this, and they have some that are $9.99 for 2. So yeah, not only is it obviously going to save you money, but it's also a lot better for the environment, and really it's better for your body also. Disposable tampon and pads a lot of times have chemicals and stuff in them. Another kind of weird thing that I do to save money is I will rewear my clothes maybe 2 or 3 times before I consider them dirty and wash them. And the same thing with my towels. When I wash off, I will hang up the towel and reuse it. This means that I usually only have to do like 1 big load of laundry every week. And then not only does that cut down on the water bill and laundry detergent and all that, but it also keeps your clothes lasting longer, because every time you wash them, it kind of deteriorates them a little bit. So you just are washing your clothes less, and then they're going to wear out a lot less quickly. Another weird thing is, on the rare occasion when we do eat out, we try and share meals. So we'll go out and get probably the biggest meal that we can, and like my partner and I, we will split the meal, and so like cut our going out bill in half. Now that's when we actually do go out to eat, because we actually don't go out to eat very often because it is expensive, which you could say is another weird thing that I do, is I just don't go out to eat very often. But I think when you're trying to save money, that's kind of obvious. Don't go out to eat, cook at home. But if you do go out to eat, share a meal. All of these things not only save me money, but they're also beneficial in other ways. They almost always save me time, and they are better for the environment. So there are multiple benefits to basically everything on my list. So I don't just do these things because they save me money, although that is a huge benefit. They just make me feel good to do all of these things and to live this lifestyle. That is it. That is my list. What do you think about the weird things that I do to save money? And are there any weird things that you do? If so, leave them in the comments below, and maybe I can give them a try. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.